A reminder of our breaking news reaching us that the minority caucus in the Nigerian Senate has given President Muhammadu Buhari 6 weeks ultimatum to address the rising insecurity in the country or face impeachment. Minority Leader of the Senate, Philip Aduda, disclosed this to reporters after staging a walkout from the plenary, along with other senators in the People's Democratic Party. The caucus is asking the president to urgently find a solution to end the endless killings and growing threats in Abuja and other parts of the country.
Security in this country, especially the happenings in Abuja and happenings all over the country, and we agreed that the primary responsibility of government is the protection of lives and property of citizens.
Obviously.
And for us, the minority caucus in the Senate, we also took into cognizance the fact that the Senate had at various levels, at various times, convenes various security meetings, various security issues were discussed, and we did recommend to government various steps and measures aimed at curbing these issues of insecurity. We realized that even Abuja that we are in is no longer no more safe, and all of you will agree with us. And so at the closed session we agreed that we will give the president an ultimatum that failing which, if it is not complied with, will move immediately to give an impeachment notice. And this we agreed at the executive session, at closed door session. So when we came out of the closed door session, we expected that the Senate President will brief the public on the issues that have happened, but however, that did not happen. So we have come here in protest to brief you and to let you know that we're with Nigerians in this struggle, and that we're worried that nowhere is safe in Nigeria. And as such, we have come out of the we walk out of the chambers in protest that the security situation in Nigeria is deteriorating, and urgent steps needs to be completely taken to ensure that these issues are curbed immediately.
Director of Arise News and political editor Sumner joins us now live from Abuja for more. Sumner, good afternoon to you. So, how come this is happening only just now, Sumner? Can you brief us on what you've been hearing and how we got to this stage?
Yeah, thank you so much, Rotus. The security situation in the country in the past few weeks has heightened again after initially going down, and then of course from what we have seen and of course heard from the opposition federal lawmakers, they are just so angry that the APC-led federal government led by President Muhammadu Buhari has not been able to curtail these attacks, and of course the Nigerian capital has been under attack in the past few days. We've seen like about 3 soldiers, specifically 1 officer and then 2 soldiers of the Nigerian army being killed in a suburb that's called Buhari within the precincts of the Federal Capital Territory. And of course, based on what other security reports we've been having the past 5 to 6 weeks, including the attack on the Kuje correctional facility, the opposition federal lawmakers, especially the senators, are angry that the Nigerian military, which is under the control of the Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, has not functioned properly. And so this added up with other previous recommendations, especially by the Senate, on how to tackle the insecurity in the country, including a blueprint that was provided by the House of Representatives and presented to President Muhammadu Buhari for ways to tackle the security situation in the country are yet to be addressed. So it's based on that the senators called, these agitations that resulted in their action today started from yesterday when they had resumed plenary. They had wanted an opportunity to raise motions of urgent national importance on the insecurity in the country. But of course, that wasn't allowed by the president of the Senate. He has said that they should calm down and then ensure that they raise it today. But upon the senators converging today at plenary, they went into executive session, and of course they raised all these issues, insisting that these issues must be discussed during plenary so that all Nigerians will know that the federal lawmakers are active about this issue and they want to know what President Buhari and the federal cabinet, including the military service chiefs, are doing to secure not only the nation's capital, but the entire country. And of course, when that point of order was raised by the Senate Minority Leader, Senator Philip Aduda, unfortunately, the Senate President had to shut him down because he didn't have a proud discussion with him, as is the rule, as is stated in the statutory book, which is the rule book of the Senate. So that's how we've been able to arrive at this decision. And of course, the opposition federal lawmakers had to stage a walkout. We have been trying to get the feelings of those at the House of Representatives to find out if they shared the views of the minority senators, but of course some of them have told us that they haven't reached such a decision yet or conclusion yet.
Okay, Sumner, I don't know if you're a betting man, but from what I'm hearing, we have a better chance of getting 24/7 electricity in Nigeria tomorrow than getting APC senators to agree with this minority caucus. So if you're a betting man, what are the odds of that happening? Well, the opposition senators, based on some of them that I've spoken with just a few minutes ago, have said that they are trying to actually look for a bipartisan approach because the issues of security are not that of the opposition party. Because, I mean, when a bomb goes off, it doesn't know whether you belong to the APC or PDP or whatever political party that you may belong to, or even your tribe or your religion. So they felt that this was the first of a series of actions that they will be taking, and that having a bipartisan approach will help other federal lawmakers to see it from a national perspective, considering that the nation's capital seems to be under siege. I mean, just in the last 24 hours, we've seen people within the territory here, spreading rumors at times, reports at some other times that, some gunmen are here and there. And of course, with the Brigade of Guards, which is the elite guards that protect the presidency, having some of their officers being killed, there's been heightened tension within the nation's capital. And of course, the federal lawmakers, being some of those in the elite class, are not unawares of some of the Boko Haram and ISWAP members who were released during the Kuje Correctional Facility attack, penning them down for attack too. So some of them actually told me off the camera that they are actually anxious because, I mean, they are people who are seen in the public, and of course they may be targets if nothing is done. And of course that's why they gave the six weeks notice to President Muhammadu Buhari to sit up to ensure that the military is able to act within its full capacity to contain these issues of insurgency and all forms of terrorism, or else they will have no choice than to invoke Section 143 of the 1999 Constitution, which deals with the issues of impeachment. And of course, there are articles of impeachment that are outlined in that section. So yes, Rotus, what you have said is what we're hearing, and of course, the bipartisan approach may actually make things bad for the governing party if indeed some of the senators and House of Rep members in the APC are able to give the opposition a push to be able to ensure that in 6 weeks their decision will go further. But as it stands right now, the Senate has adjourned plenary till September 20th. This is the latest that we have for our viewers. All right, and so from September, that would give us 5 months to the election, I think. What about the feel of this looking like it's political, since we're so close to an election and trying to make the ruling party look bad?
Yeah, of course, you can't rule out politics from all of this. And of course, if the ruling party has been able to play its politics badly and then falls into the hand of the opposition, of course, they will definitely want to make use of this opportunity to hit back at the governing party, especially considering the issues that have been happening with a lot of dissent by even some federal lawmakers in the governing APC. And of course, it depends on how the PDP senators are able to make their case before the senators and House of Rep members in the governing party, because there's a lot of procedure. And then I can tell you, Rotus, the issues of impeachment is a very tiring situation. I mean, it's a long process, and if you look at it, they will have to write all the offenses that the president has committed, and of course they would have to circulate it to the Senate president and then the speaker, and eventually when they collate all of this, it will be brought back to the Senate president, and then the Senate president would have to send it to the executive, and then of course the executive in terms of the president, may decide to write back, denying some of the things or accepting. Well, it's not compulsory for him to actually write back. And of course, when they don't get the executive's response in time, or they do at a particular point in time, then the process will have to kick in, and of course, the Chief Justice of Nigeria will have to be brought in and all of that. So it's a very long process itself. And considering that we have just a few months to the general election, a lot of Nigerians will be skeptical if this impeachment itself will go through, because if it goes through the entire process, then it means that the nation would have been going into a general election while the impeachment process is still on. So it's a very long process, and it depends on how the main opposition PDP is able to handle it, able to get it, because they would have to get 1/3 of members of the National Assembly, specifically the Senate and then the House of Reps. It's 73 in the Senate for you to get 1/3, and of course, it's difficult for you to be able to, sorry, that's 2/3. Right. It's like about 35 to 40 for you to be able to get a 1/3 for the impeachment process itself to start. And so it's a difficult and tiring process. So it depends on how they're able to win a bipartisan approach towards it. If not, it may just die a natural death because they don't have the capacity, the required number of federal lawmakers to be able to push it through.
Right, right. Well, you know what? Why don't I take you down the rabbit hole, Sumner? Assuming the president, somehow they do get the support from members of the ruling party who will be facing an election in just about 5 months' time. Assuming that does happen and he is impeached, then what happens after that as far as the elections are concerned?
Okay, so the only time this was tried was sometime around 2002, close to the 2003 election, when former President Olusegun Obasanjo was under fire by both the opposition and even his own party members, specifically his own party members. But we didn't see that process going to fruition because, I mean, it was pretty difficult, and of course, a lot of senior citizens, including former presidents, and then of course other top Nigerians had to be involved in the process. But if indeed what you're alluding to happens, then it's going to be a first in Nigeria's politics since 1960, and then of course it's going to mean that it's either two of them, that's President Muhammadu Buhari and his vice, are impeached at the same time, or the federal lawmakers may make a distinction for his vice and then leave him out of the impeachment, depending on what the response will be from President Muhammadu Buhari, since he's the culprit in this instance. But of course, you understand that the presidency works as one. So in most instances in other countries where it happens, it's usually the entire presidency that goes. That's both the president and his vice. But in some instances, the federal lawmakers may actually excuse the vice president, but we haven't had that happening since the First Republic, when we were able to start our democracy. So it's pretty difficult right now also, considering the overwhelming majority that the APC has. But there's a lot of grievances, even by the APC federal lawmakers. Some of them are just quiet, and like I spoke with some of the senators who are very close to me, they told me that actually they are very, very sad about how the APC-led federal government is handling the issues of security, because many of them are unable to get back to their federal constituencies. And as a result of that, when they get holidays, just like they've had now, between now and September 20th, many of them will have to be holed up in Abuja here, or they will have to travel out of the country, which is not good for the kind of polity that we're supposed to, because this is supposed to be the campaign period where they go back between now and September 28th to at least mobilize people ahead of the campaign, the official commencement of campaigns. And if they are unable to get back to their constituencies, then something's actually wrong. So they are actually saying that, yes, the opposition lawmakers have a lot of grievances, and they support some of them, but some of them were angry that the PDP senators, led by Senator Philip Aduda, did not, consult them ahead of time before taking that decision of working out, because this is beyond a political party issue.
Sumner, this motion, I believe, is being moved by a member of the minority caucus that's a southerner. Is there any chance of this being seen as a regional division, or, the South trying to get rid of the northern president?
No. I actually wrote to the person who moved it is a minority leader of the Senate, who is Senator Philip Aduda. Is a senator representing the Federal Capital Territory, the only senator specifically representing the territory. And then, of course, he's from the North Central. And if you look at it, yes, within the geopolitics of North and South, there's a tendency for people to just think he's only trying to do the bidding of the PDP, which, of course, has been trying to hit back very well. But it's not going to be seen within the lens of the geopolitics of North and South so much. I mean, because from the perspective you've raised, he's actually a northerner, specifically from the political middle belt of the country. So, and he's actually stating this based on the facts. I mean, a lot of members of the ruling party have been angry and they're anxious to be able to talk to President Muhammadu Buhari. The Senate had over time, I mean, I can remember while I was covering the Senate like about 2-3 years back, they actually sat down, they brought a lot of proposals. There was sometime when the incumbent Senate President was a majority leader in the 8th Senate. They raised some of these issues. They presented lots of memoranda, lots of recommendations to the executive. President Muhammadu Buhari at some point commended them. A lot of motions were raised, but it's just difficult to understand why a lot of this have not been able to come to fruition. But the executive too, based on President Muhammadu Buhari's official statement, which he issued through Garba Shehu, his spokesman, has said that every recommendation for funding of the military have been met with cash backing by the finance minister. He's done his best by calling them for several security meetings, and he just doesn't know what is happening. So as it stands right now, it's a very bad situation for the country, because here here's a Nigerian president who's a former military general who is reputed to have pursued some bandits then around the 80s back into Chad when he was a general, and a lot of Nigerians voted for him in 2015 based on that and re-elected him in 2019 based on that. They are so surprised that President Muhammadu Buhari has not been able to justify his being a general in the Nigerian army. And so a lot of people are angry that even though he may have replaced the military service chiefs not quite long, that he should do something. But of course, the president too has over time been saying that changing the security chiefs is not the situation at the moment, because if you keep changing them, then the high turnover of security chiefs may also be a challenge in itself. And so he kept on giving these security service chiefs marching orders to do what they can to secure everywhere. But unfortunately, with especially the jailbreak at the Kuje Correctional Facility, the security situation has heightened, and it's so sad to see that it's got close, I mean very, very close to the nation's capital, with even these bandits trying to even threaten to kidnap the president. I mean, this is the height of it. And of course, since I've covered the National Assembly for over 15 years, I've never seen such an affront on the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And so that's why you could see some of these senators getting angry, because if they can threaten to kidnap the president, kidnap the governor of Kaduna State, of course, you can imagine what will happen to the lawmakers themselves.
Sumner Sambo, Director of News, Arise Political Editor, thank you so much for joining us and giving us the latest update on this move.